This is a presentation of the United States Australian Football League, the USAFL.
I'll take fullback, okay? Alex C, back pocket, okay?
Hey, boys. All right. Use your voice all day. Use your voice, okay? Swannaroos on three. 1, 2, 3. Swannaroos. Let's go, boys. 1, 2, 3.
Strong in that corner was fantastic.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, should be an absolute ripper of a match. These two sides coming through from the pool play.
And we will take a look at how the two teams got here in just a moment, but we are in fact underway in the men's Division III grand final between the Chicago Swans and the Calgary Kangaroos. The Swans hoping to do better than their Sydney counterpart in the men's Division I grand final earlier this season, actually a couple of weeks ago, as the Kangaroos in the blue jumpers are already better, one would say, than the North Melbourne Kangaroos, as the Kangaroos now with an inside 50 attempt as the ball is cleaned out on the far side. Going after to get it, there's a massive humanity there. That's Timmy Herman going after the football. And again, staying with it up on the far side. It'll be a ball up. One-on-one contest, very physical one-on-one contest there, as Mike Girton going for it for Chicago, who has the football now and tries to send this one in. Looking around, and he'll give the handball off. Girton with a big kick now inside the 50-meter arc, inside top of the goal square, was touched through and still stays in play and will go out of bounds. Not a bad result for the Chicago Swans. Here in the opening minute of football, they'll have a boundary thrown about 15 meters around.
Yeah, it's up on their scoring end, inside 50 entry there. We'll see if they can lock it in until they walk away with some points.
Game time temperature, 92 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 mile per hour winds with gusts to 19. That's going to be about the same it's going to be for the next couple of games, and one would have to think that that's going to be the scoring end. Max Parrish, meanwhile, takes the mark, kicks this one out to the near side, coming over and taking that one easy peasy lemon skeezy with Stefan Brzezinski. Brzezinski with the football, one of the Canadians on this team. He'll send that one on. Got a hand to it, but the free kick was given, as it was given away by Craig Sargent, or Sergeant Craig if you prefer, and Jeffrey Kramer, USA Revolution alumni, and right into the guts of the arriving Evan Danilo. Danilo was one of the prime movers in the game that we saw yesterday in men's Division III, sending this one inside the 50-meter arc. Ball will drop. It'll skip up high, getting knocked backwards, and then going and taking that one around. Herman's trying to say a little candy. That one is deflected. It goes all the way through and touched through for a behind. So on the Watch AFL scoreboard, the first point of the men's Division III grand final goes to the Chicago Swans, 1-0 to the Bloods.
We saw it right in front of us, Brian. You mentioned the conditions earlier. Stiff enough breeze, and it was blowing right from us and Herman here in towards goal. So he had a big kick that delivered that into the forward 50. 92 degrees, you mentioned that, Brian. We probably hear the bell from the ice cream cart any moment now.
Yeah, and of course that's teasing because we're in the middle of doing the commentary and we'll have to wait until we both have a break in a minute or two. But meanwhile, the ball is up on that far side. Again, the Swans kicking towards the Onion Creek end. That is the side with the wind of about the agency of probably about a 2 or 3 goal breeze, while the Calgary Kangaroos kicking towards the Tournament Central side to the left of screen. As the ball goes to ground now, going to get picked up. Shovel handball is right into the breadbasket of the teammate there in the number 48 in Greg Ends, as opposed to Split Ends, as we'll have it come back the other way for the Swans.
We chatted with Ian Fraser after the game. We called it theirs yesterday, 17 for the Swans. He and Jeff Kramer critical in the halfback there, and he's doing it for me right now, 17. Fraser takes an intercept mark.
Ian Fraser from Great Britain, in fact, was just over at the Euro Cup playing for Scotland. That would be the, let me see, the women's team is the is the Sirens. I think they're the Klansmen is the name of the Scottish Euro side. And he'll come back. Will the Kangaroos, unofficially speaking, about 4 minutes gone. Again, we will mention the time, but we will stress that it is unofficial, so do not take our word for it here as the ball goes out of bounds now, as that one is a little bit of a handball. Going to get picked up once again. This is a kick as the wind begins to blow and howl. This one all the way there, but it bounced into the behind post off the foot of Evan Danilo. And now the behind posts are technically out of bounds. So a ball making contact, it's the same effect. Because the ball bounces, it's a boundary throw-in. Aldry umpire Ellen DeVries arches the back and circumnavigates this ball back into the field of play. And ball will be taken down in front. A chance again for the Swans. Everybody sliding into second base, third base too. And everybody now with a game of let's hug it out. And we'll have a ball up 15 or 20 or so meters out from the Chicago target. Again, they lead 1-0 on the Watch AFL scoreboard.
Yeah, the Swans putting the pressure on, although it hasn't resulted in the scoreboard tallies yet. They'll certainly want to hang a few more while they've got the benefit of the wind.
Ball up on the far side now, and the Kangaroos, who have played extremely well, will get an idea for you of the in a moment of how their matches have gone at some point. And of course, they defeated Philadelphia earlier on, in addition to Los Angeles. And up on the far side now, it's going to bounce through. Picked up by Kramer. Kramer will go all the way back. He handballs it off to the man in Christopher Hamilton Smith, who sends that one on forward. And the ball is up on the far side now. Again, Calgary going after it, has the football, and sending that one up high in the air. Who wants it? Everybody. Who's got it? Nobody, but it did hit the hands of either Max Parrish or Luke Stockdale. We have two number ones, and we can't tell them apart because everybody kind of looks the same. In the end, it's going to be a free kick, and it will go the way of Dave Kalinowski.
Yeah, you saw that ball hang up in the wind a bit, Brian. That's what the Calgary side's dealing with here right now. So again, Chicago would want to take advantage of this wind if Calgary can stymie their efforts.
Well, here's a chance. There's a big kick, as that one is, I believe it was marked in front. And an opportunity for the Calgary Kangaroos. In fact, it has gone through for a behind. So we are all square on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Chicago and Calgary, one behind. Unofficially speaking, about 6.5 minutes gone first term. Men's Division III Grand Final. 1-1 is the score now. Ball gets kicked back into play. Up on the far side. And the ball is capped in. And, you know, it's interesting to see Chicago looking for their first Grand Final. They won Division III, defeating Columbus in 2012. So that's how long it's been since they've won a divisional Grand Final. Calgary, meanwhile, won a couple of Division II Grand Finals in there, and there's a chance for goal, and it is a big football goal there, and a big umpire, the big signal from the umpire. 6 points for the Calgary Kangaroos. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, they go on to 1-1-7, Chicago one behind.
They'd be thrilled with that. Against the flow of play, into the wind. Calgary showing some grittiness there just to keep the ball pinned in until they got the 6.
Yeah, they're really, I think they took the first couple of parting shots really, and they parried them away, and now here we are with some good probing kicks. And Calgary, you know, a lot of the clubs down here, they don't really know too much about Calgary. They do play teams in the upper Midwest. They've played Portland and Seattle in the past. I know Seattle has made the trip out to go and see them in previous years, and this one is sent up towards the wing position. We always think that they're an enigma, but my goodness, they are, some of these guys play for the national team, as this one goes out into the corner and going back to get it, dancing around and finding a man there. Good smother, wow. From right out of the picture, Peter O'Shaughnessy had his kick smothered and covered like some Waffle House hash browns, and the mark was taken nicely by Stockdale. Stockdale goes down the line, got a hand to it, just paddles that one forward. Dances away from 2 defenders, but not the third. But Halliday did just get the ball away. Halliday goes and picks that one up, and we have a bear hug in tight, and we'll have a ball up directly in front. And we should mention some of our sponsors, one of them being Aussie Sports USA. They've designed the Chicago Swans jumpers, a little bit different than what you're used to if you're a Sydney Swans fan. Of course, it is very localized for the Chicago region with the skyline in the background and, of course, those 4 stars from their flag.
Yeah, they used to wear one with the Chicago skyline on the front, much like Sydney does with the Opera House. But a touch of the Chicago flag, powder blue color there now in the Swans cartoon there on the front of the jumpers looks great.
I like when teams do that. You think of St. Louis, they're the Blues, but they have some gear and stuff that are the colors and have the fleur-de-lis of their flag. So instead of being just navy blue and white, they are red and yellow and blue, which is fantastic. And
yeah, brought in the St. Louis flag with that and a touch of the local vibe.
And again, Amy Bishop and everybody at Aussie Sports USA helping we've designed some of the shirts and stuff that we're wearing, as well as they outfit a number of the teams, as does our other sponsor, Play Aussie, and Wayne Kraska is here with a selection of footballs and stuff. He has a lot of AFL stuff, but he's also outfitted some of the teams as well. There is a diving mark taken by Jeff Kramer, who has been really all over the place here in this early going as he goes down the line off the hands. And a big takedown. Umpire says, play on, my friends. Big shove put in there once again by O'Shaughnessy, and he is like a wound-up mouse at the moment. We'll have a ball up on the wing position outer side, past the halfway point of this first half of men's Division III Grand Final.
Yeah, he really went crashing through there, so a fair bit of intensity around the packs.
Very much so as the ball comes back in. Ball gets taken down, going to get sent back in, back the other way. Picked up now by the man in Lawrence Lara for the Kangaroos. Has the ball up on the far side. It bounces free. Going to go and pick that one up. He skitters that one off the foot. Umpire raises her arm as if she was ordering a Cooper's, which if she wants to is right behind us. And of course, you see on your screen, thanks to Gridiron Productions, the Cooper's beer tent, which of course Cooper's celebrating its 25th anniversary with us here in the USAFL, and that Cooper's beer tent in the next couple of hours as the tournament winds down is going to fill up, where you're going to have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,000 or so people over on that side, and also it's also going to be right where the teams are, so there will be a ton of people over there, as it looks like we have a free kick up coming. And it will go the way of the Calgary Kangaroos. Leans back, sends this one up on the way. His teammates like it, and so does the goal umpire. Second goal for the Calgary Kangaroos. They go to 2-1-13. Chicago 1 behind. Watch AFL scoreboard.
Calgary looking good here. That mark, Jeff Kramer's been outstanding for Chicago, but not able to get a fist to that one. The full forward there for Calgary, defended the space really well, created space for the drop of the ball, and was able to step right into that and collect that. Even more impressive, kicking straight into that wind with the distance he had there.
Yeah, that wind has been moving pretty stiffly, and we've been watching those flags all day long. They have been in various stages of showiness, I guess, for lack of a better term. But the ball is in the middle once again, and just a quick shout out. We're talking about some of our sponsors as well. The Australian Consulate in Houston. If you've been walking around the ground, you've seen some folks with the G'day y'all towels and other things. They are also, one of the great things about this, and especially on a day like this, they have ice baths.
Oh. Sounds delicious right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, that's one of the most popular places on this ground so far.
Yeah, it's been a hot tournament. We got to 95 yesterday, close to 100 or over it today. I guarantee that beer tent will be filling up, and they'll be tipping back a lot of suds, cold suds in the beer garden.
And I can tell you, I bet you the Calgary boys say that it does not get this hot up there. Well, they're going to have another opportunity. And once again, I think it's the same guy who kicked the last one. He's going to stride forward. The kick is up on the way. He fell on his tuchus in the process, and that may have affected the kick as it just goes across the face for another minor score. Watch AFL scoreboard. It sends the Calgary Kangaroos to 2-2-14. Chicago 1 behind. Again, watch AFL. You can catch all the AFLW games as well as the upcoming AFL men's season. Go to watchafl.com for more information. As here come the Swans. Back the other way down the line. Goes up and goes down. And it's going to get picked off by the man in Matt Kidd. Kidd, he's been around this team a long time. He goes handballs it back. They got to go back to go forward. Sending this one across the way. Helicopter whirlybird. 2 bites of the cherry and marked by Joshua Halliday. Halliday now. Don't call him Doc. Right on the logo. In front of us here on the Gridiron Productions broadcast position. Comes out to the near side. It once, twice, 3 times a lady was James Walter, who we didn't have a number for at all yesterday, but now it's nice to put a name to the face, or at least the number, as a handball comes back out, turned over. Here come the Kangas as they hop through the middle of the ground, going across. Nice mark taken in the middle of the ground there by Brzezinski. Brzezinski will go down the line, up once, twice, no. Couldn't get that one with Stockdale. And then nice mark over the top being taken. And the ball gets taken down, ball gets pulled away as that one goes out into the pocket as Walter sends that one in, and the ball has tumbled out of bounds. Believe it will be a boundary throw as it did hop in front. Unofficially speaking, 15 minutes gone. Calgary leads by 13 points. Men's Division III final here on Cooper's Field. Dan Sarbacker.
Nice mark by Brad Clifton there in the middle, 15 for Chicago. Kind of a squibbly kick coming out of the back, but the rebound worked because Brad got high, brought that down, played on quickly, and we're in the forward 50 for the Swans.
Umpire spends the ball back in the play as it goes up on the far side now. Going to get picked up. Went for the handball as that was 36-35, Lara to Moroni. And Moroni was left holding the handbag as he was able to handball it in. Umpire says play on down the wing as it bounces through in front of the sponsor roll and in front of, he has a bounce in front of the Cooper sign, has another bounce in front of another Cooper sign, has a third one if you can believe it. Kramer has him in his grasp and it went out of bounds first. But good job by Jeff Kramer to pressure the ball carrier there in Craig Sargent.
Yeah, Sargent was probably actually a little blessed to find the boundary there. He was out of space. Kramer had run him down. He'd had his bounces.
Yeah, and that was, and as we say, he slowly collapsed like a flan in a cupboard as the ball goes down the line once again. Going to get picked up now. Handballed it across. Went once, twice, has a bounce. Look at this. Look at the moves that the Kangaroos have as this one gets sent in. The ball is held up high, and it's handballed back. It's going to get picked up off of 1 foot. There's a shot, and it goes across the face and through for a behind. Another score for the Kangaroos. They go to 2-3-15. 1 behind for Chicago. Watch AFL scoreboard.
That can be a really effective strategy against the wind. Those balls, those entry kicks hang up in the air a little more. Just bringing them to ground and making sure you've got the flow underneath it. Runners coming to pick up crumbs can be very effective.
Ball up on the far side once again is Calgary, the Kangaroos. Handball it up over the top. He's going to find the man in 54, who is Alexander Armstrong, sending this one in. Good defense there. Bopped free. He's going to have this. Handballs it out to a man off of 1 step. The wind takes it away from Uday Kapila, who is on the north wind, of course, as that one bounced out of bounds. And the question is whether or not it went out on the full. In fact, it looks like it has, so everybody moving back for the free kick. Unofficially, we have 17-plus minutes gone in this first term. 2 20-minute halves, Men's Division III Grand Final. We mentioned Calgary went to the Division II Grand Final, was playing up in Division I. In fact, has been to a couple of D1 Grand Finals. as this one is sent in on the way by the Kangaroos. And again, that's gone, except that one's gone straight out on the full. And again, this wind playing havoc, and now it's starting, I think, to blow a little bit more across the way.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little more down the field. It's feeling a little bit more on our left cheek, isn't it, Brian? So this is probably a 2-goal advantage, although it's not showing for the Swans at this point. Calgary been able to get the scores against the wind.
Ball gets knocked down, and this one will come high up in the air. Who wants it? Who wants it? Nobody, but there were 4 red jumpers there, and because of the bounce of the ball, nobody got to it. They handball it around, trying to clear it out for the Swans, who got the first score of the game but haven't scored since. They scored pretty early on, I might add, as here is Maroney, who handballs it around, gets a little 1-2 do-si-do from Jason Nyston, who is on the national team as well. Plays that one up into the pocket, and the ball will skip a go. It will stay in play. Sargent was up against the boundary line as we have another gust, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned a couple of Canadian national team players here. Not many data points at the club level with U.S. clubs playing Canadian clubs, just a few, but probably actually more familiarity with individual members that we see internationally.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that these are men and women who play at the different clubs overseas, and sometimes we see them overseas and they come to visit either the States or Canada. I know, for an example, Dara Power, who played with Ireland in the Transatlantic Cup, started her career found footy in Toronto. So just as an example, we love to see some of them come over at some point, as we have a ball up, appears, unless we have a free kick. In fact, it will be a free kick, and Calgary in the dying seconds will have a chance to extend their lead. Going back is the number 4. Well, let's read that again, because I don't see a number 4. No, it's 8. Well, if you add 2 4s together, it's Dave Kalinowski. Kalinowski will kick into the stiff wind. The kick will come after the siren. I think it held up pretty well. It sure did. Dave Kalinowski gets the final word of this first half, straight through the hey diddle diddle, and at the end of the first half, the score on the Watch AFL scoreboard, it's the Calgary Kangaroos, 3 goals, 3 behinds, 21 points. Chicago, 1 behind. Oh, hang on a second. I think they may have given it as a behind. Hang on.
Well, the signal certainly was rather emphatic from the goal umpire that was a goal. We're just watching the scoreboard tally go here.
Yeah, we're just watching the scoreboard, and we'll come and we'll update it. I'm pretty sure it went through for a goal, but we were as well. But it may have gone through, so we'll double check. But irrespective, Calgary's going to go in with a pretty sizable lead at halftime.
Yeah, they're doing the right things. They're finding pockets. It's possible they've kind of run the Chicago legs out from underneath their opposition. They've found those avenues to target. They've been able to work the handballs until they get those kicks open, and they're converting. Chicago just not creating much run forward, not many opportunities inside 50, and ultimately not generating any scoring chances.
Yeah, that's been the key. So it's been the key. It's been how that is, and unfortunately now they're going to be against the wind. And teams that do well against the wind, when they don't have it, usually more often than not end out on top. It's being able to play at both sides. We're going to step aside and come right back to this third quarter grand final. Calgary is in the lead. We'll confirm the scores in just a moment. You're watching the 2024 USAFL National Championships. Thanks to Tasmanian here on USAFL.com.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the spirit of Australia. The Australian Consulate General, Houston. Three Cuts Gin. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. And by USAFL Foundation. Play on.
Back here for the second half of the 2024 USAFL Men's Division III Grand Final. We have the scores confirmed. We were right all along. The Calgary Kangaroos, leading the Chicago Swans 21-1 with 20 minutes to go until we crown a champion of Men's Division III, the first of the day. Brian Barish alongside Dan Sarbacker. And Sars, I think it's going to be, if you're punting here, if you're tipping, you probably like the Kangaroos right now.
Yeah, of course you do. But here, Brian, is the reason we play the game. You don't know what's going to happen in the second half. Adjustments happen from coaches at halftime, and we'll see how the Swans come out.
Ball comes, and we are underway once again as the ball gets knocked forward. Going after it, big tackle put in there by Paul Barron. Barron went after the football once again, goes up on the far side, and it's taken down and going to get kicked this one high up in the air. It is paddled forward. We're going after it. 2 players, 3 players. Big crunching tackle in there in Ray Warren style. Crunching tackle as we'll have a ball up directly across from us. That's that other game as the ball comes back in the air. Picked out of the air nicely once again by Barron, who's moved up into the ruck now, sending that one on. Barron with the handball back. Here come the Kangaroos, looking for one goal to put it away, and right there, the big mitts with the big mitts, the man in Craig Sargent, who will go back and try to extend the lead. Sargent will go back. He's about 45 meters out. He has the wind. A little bit of a crosswind at this point, but he sends it on its way. Umpire taps himself, points out the ambidextrous, and that is through for a behind. First score of the game after a minute or so of football here in half number 2. Calgary 3-4-22. Chicago 1 behind.
Sargent did something really nice there. That ball was not rotating perfectly for that mark. He actually flat-handed that just to adjust it down to himself before he took that grab.
Absolutely, and he's good at that. I mean, he's been playing for some time there. One of their key veterans. He knows a fair bit, and he's played at this tournament on several occasions. So, a couple of players will know him. As the ball moves on that far side, I think we're going to hear those jingle bells in a couple of minutes. I can see him with the cart over there.
Brian has the scope on. He's spotted the ice cream cart.
Not that it does us any good, although I'm off the next game, so there will be that. And we'll tell you, we'll do some around the grounds for Qantas in just a moment. As the spirit of Australia will guide us to tell you that the Denver and Golden Gate Reserves lead Oklahoma 31-8 in the second half. That's the Division IV Grand Final. It's been some time since the Denver Rezzies have won a Grand Final. They have had one Division IV under their belt. They're looking for a second one.
Few stats for you, Brian, from the first half. And probably the most telling storyline is the handballs. Handballs, Calgary 23, Chicago 7. Effective handball 17-4. So Calgary having a lot of success moving the ball, linking up with the hands where they need to, preceding those big kicks that gain distance, gain meters, giving them scoring opportunities. Chicago yet to string that type of play together, and it shows.
Yeah, and right now they're marooned in their own half-back line and now trying to get it free as Morley was taken down, and finally it's banged out by Danilo up the right side. And a lot of the matches, it seems like, has been played on that tent side of the field in front of the Cooper's beer tent. As you'd
expect with the wind. Wind's going to keep pushing the ball towards that boundary. It's the teams that are effective coming inboard at the right times that are going to succeed.
Handballs it around, looking for an opportunity, trying to get this one. As you can see, some of the players starting to get through and take up positions inside the 50-meter arc.
That kick there tickled the top of the branches, so if you're not getting it square on the boot, the wind is going to take over. That one pushed that out, I think, on the full, and it ended up in that little tree. They're actually trying to knock the ball loose. So it is hung up in the tree. Nice mark.
Yeah.
By that tree there. I wish we knew what kind it was, but we don't have a team sheet for that.
Even the trees got possession. Is that? I think that's Lawrence. Did she just lose it?
We now have 2 footballs stuck in the tree.
Well, we'll get another game ball. So that was Lawrence Skonechny of the Portland Sockeyes who was going up there, and you see that.
So that tree with 2 contested marks now, Brian, stat-wise, is having an absolute blinder.
Yeah, this is, what is it, Steve Miller. I really love your Sharons, want to shake your trees so we can get them back and play on. So we just, while we have a moment, want to tell you the other grand finals that are happening. We don't have any update from the Division 5 grand final. We will at some point, we promise, but men's Division 2 will be the Seattle Grizzlies and the Houston Lone Stars. Women's Division 1 will be the Golden Gate Iron Maidens and the Minnesota Freeze, and then we'll have the men's Division 1 between the Austin Crows and the Denver Bulldogs, as they are still trying to get the ball down.
We may have a new ball coming into play here, but while we finish up, we'll just kind of paint the picture of Nationals second day, middle of the day. Brian, a lot of teams maybe eliminated end of day yesterday or this morning after their third match are recovering now. The atmosphere gets a little more jovial for them and a little more serious for those still in contention.
As we have wrenched a new ball from the ashes, as going over the top was Max Parrish, who couldn't get the football, and we have a whistle and a free kick going the way of the Chicago Swans. They need a goal, and they need it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Looking in short, didn't go 15 meters. Playing on quickly was Chucksy, who flays it up, Chukshi rather, who will go out the far side. Going and picking that one up, but he lost the handle. Mustard came off the hot dog. Danilo comes forward, sending this one inside 50. 1-on-1 contest. It's Herman up against his other number 33, Graham Math, and all of that adds up to a free kick.
High tackle there, but one of the better chances the Swans have compiled, and it's because they played on quickly multiple times through that passage.
Ball comes back the other way now, going up high, almost taking the mark up over the top. And in fact, I think he may have, and crumpled into a bit of a heap in front of the Cooper's beer tent.
Got a little bit of an ear massage there. I think the umpire awarded a chop of the hands or high contact.
And by the way, as you can see, you might be able to see in a wide shot in a moment or two, that branded tent for the USAFL, that Aussie Rules, that was part of the campaign, a contest by different clubs, won by the Baton Rouge Tigers this year, and great job by them, which their numbers have absolutely exploded this year, as they also were able to bring 20 men and 4 women to nationals. Here's a chance in front, and that is rushed through for a behind, as going after that was Stu Nickel, another Scotsman, and that is through for the second point of the game for Chicago. Watch AFL scoreboard, a lot of deuces up there. Calgary 3-4-22, Chicago 2 behinds. So 22-2. That's a Richie Benno special, 22-2. I've got to stop listening to the 12th man. between Ray Warren and Richie Beno, as this one is chipped over the top again, finding the man in Chris Enns.
Calgary, a little bit different strategy here, starting to build up with more patience. I think they're sensing, hey, we can maybe run the clock out a little bit, kick to kick here from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as they can, as that one is kicked out on the full, and any little bit of possessions they can get will add up to more, to closer in terms of time-wise to a championship. Just taking a look, I don't know that they've played in Division 3, been in the Division 3 final before Calgary, but the last time they won Division 3 was in 2016 when they defeated Columbus. And they had gone back and forth, and they had been to the Division 1 final twice in 3 years. In fact, if memory serves me correctly, I think it may have been the 2 years that the first 2 years that we were here. I'm going to actually double check and tell you, yeah, they lost to Denver in 2011, and then when we came back in 2013, were the first victim of the Austin Crows. As the ball is up inside, of course, we mentioned Austin. They'll be playing at 4:15 Central Time for their 9th Division I national title. It would be a new record. The ball comes outside. Go ahead, sir.
Chicago stringing some nice things together here. They've been resilient on the halfback line, despite Calgary able to hang the ball up in the wind, the onslaught there, the barrage, but Chicago rebounding fairly well and getting themselves chances in the forward half.
Yeah, and what I'm really impressed about them is, their positioning. I think they're positioning themselves pretty well, and that's what's getting them some of these extra opportunities as now. And again, unfortunately for them, they are kicking against the wind here, but they are doing something pretty important, which is they're keeping Calgary off the scoreboard by and large. They have only allowed the 1 point.
Yeah, as you mentioned positioning, Brian, we have a great view across the ground here. A second ago, it just broke down, but 6 Swans in this alley right in the middle of the field to only 2 of Calgary. Calgary needs to find a way to bypass that. They can do it with the run and the big kick, which they've done. Otherwise, Chicago was set up to rebound again.
And the ball kills a family of worms on the way through. Going to send this back from whence it came. Going to clean bowl the man there in Garcia Curran. And then the umpire says play on. Here come the Kangaroos. Yeah, as that one is turned over once again to Chakshi. Chakshi with the football. First name Rushil has the football down the ground. Goes up and takes a nice mark, finding a connection in Mark Edwards. Edwards in the true center half back position, going to send this one up high. Who wants it? Oh, what a nice mark. That was a good contested mark by Josh Holliday. He plays on again, looking inside, couldn't find a fourth connection, kept in front, however, looking for Herman, goes across the body. Here is Nickel. He's going to throw on a Shepherd. He throws in a bump. He gets the football, does Nichols, goes back to Halliday, little chip pass in front, looking for a mark in Herman, not able to get to it, and then here comes back the other way. He's going to get this one back. He almost turned it over as Lara had it, and there was a whistle as Nickel came in kind of late, and in fact will earn the free kick. So he didn't come in late, he came in just in time. I think just in time plays for Werribee of the VFL somewhere, as here comes Stu Nickel, and well, that one, he's going to want that one back, old Stewie, and he'll might want to tell the Chicago Zoo he's got a new Shankopotamus there, as this one is kicked out on the near side as the ball drops in front. Gets away from one defender, kicks this one now. Oh, he's selling all sorts of candy. He ran 14.99 meters. Here is Sargent who gets the ball free. He gets a handball in. Big tackle put in, and emerging from the pack now is the man in Brzezinski. Brzezinski goes down the line, or check that. That was Kalinowski. Over here's Josh Sargent, and he will have a bounce and kick a goal, oblivious to the carnage behind him. That may salt it away for the Kangas. They go to 4-4-28. Chicago 2 behinds. Path to halfway point, second quarter and second half, and Calgary looks almost home.
Killer for the Swans. They'd had a lot of offensive pressure, not able to convert. They were doing the right things through the mids, taking intercept marks, playing on quickly. That's what was generating those forward chances. But once in the forward line, they weren't committed the midfield to run and support the forwards, so they weren't getting the extra numbers. Calgary back, able to rebound, and in that case, very, very fast transition. Chicago has plenty of guys hanging their heads, hands on knees. They're tired at this point. It's their 4th game of the weekend, Brian, in the heat.
Yeah, this fourth game, it's 4 games in temperatures that right now it's 93 degrees and going to get a couple of degrees hotter, I think, before this afternoon is done. When you're up, however, by 27 points, it doesn't feel too bad. As the ball comes in, one-on-one contest. Again, that's Sargent. 2 trains passing. Big the job by Danilo, who did very well to overpower his opponent. He just kicks it out. Unfortunately for him, it's 2 Kangaroos, and Nyston has the ball. Goes to one side. Almost looking dejected there and resigned was Mike Girton as he went by, and he just sort of like pulled up and went, yeah, I figured that was going to happen.
Yeah, let's even give that a little more context, Brian. So for those that have never been to nationals, especially folks that are familiar with Aussie rules football in Australia, winter sport there, it's a summer sport here. Austin, Texas, very, very hot today. We might see 100 degrees. So to translate that, they're playing 4 games of football over the weekend in 30 or 35 degrees Celsius temperature. So big ask of the body. There's a lot of fatigue. You tend to see a lot of leg cramps by this point of the weekend, and it's a big ask for the fitness of these players.
And there's another one for Calgary, and they might be drinking maple syrup or perhaps some maple syrup flavored Coopers. Maybe we can get them on an extra flavor for Canada. I don't know. In any event, that is their 5th goal. They go to 5-4-34, and Chicago on 2 behind. It should be 34-2. And the Kookaburras the Kookaburras, we should check in, as we should for Qantas and for Two Hands, on how Women's Division 2 is doing, because we've got what might be a deciding match going on in the in Women's Division 2 coming up at 2 o'clock between Austin and Quebec. The updated standings that we have here, I think we're a little bit behind. Austin at 2-0, Calgary and Quebec both at 2-1. So we'll have to see whether the Crows won their game a little bit earlier. Sacramento at 1-2, and the DC Eagles at 0-3. Some of those games are going on right now, and that is a straight 5-team round robin. As Austin, the Crows may have a chance to win a double. It won't be a treble as in years past, but they'll have as in last year, but they'll have a double. There's my friend.
Yeah, we're just hearing the ice cream bell, so right on cue. It's 95 degrees, Brian, and he's walking right past us, teasing us with his cold treats. But all the sweet stuff here on the field is Calgary at this point. They're getting the better bit of play, and they've hit the scoreboard plenty. I think the result is probably out of question at this point. Chicago would certainly want to hit the scoreboard here with a major to salvage some pride at the end of this. They certainly shouldn't be disappointed by making the final, but Calgary was the better side, more class here.
They did get a behind here, 5-5-32 to 2 behinds, as we are getting pretty near the end. And we did have that clock, we do say on our screen, is a little unofficial because as well there was that maybe 2 minutes or so when they were trying to pretend that they were in the Garden of Eden and try and pull down apples from the tree, except it wasn't Aaron's, they were Sharon footballs. As the ball comes out in the middle of the ground once again, ball gets picked up high, and just got his foot to the ball, going to send that out into the pocket. One-on-one contest. Again, going and picking that one up. Just got the ball away, but barely. Handballs it back, over the shoulder, kick in front, and it's through for another minor score. Calgary are misers. They are not giving up, and they are going to sprint home here. They got a 5-6-36 to 2 behinds.
Wind stiffening a bit, and obviously it's probably not going to have a great impact on the rest of this contest here, Brian, but keeping an eye on that for the rest of the afternoon. It feels a touch stronger at our backs now.
Yeah, the forecast is for 11 miles per hour with gusts for anywhere from 18 to 20, and we saw a lot of that yesterday, and these teams, I'm sure, will enjoy the breeze, especially as they go on, and in some cases waiting for their next game to go forward. So will have the opportunity here. Still 36-2. Again, men's Division II coming up next, starting at the top of the hour. It'll be the Houston Lone Stars looking for their first Division II national championship against the Seattle Grizzlies, looking for their first since 2008. And of course, they were runners-up a season ago. Should be a rip snorter of a contest. The Stars will be back alongside Pat Machado for that match as the ball is up on the far side now. And the umpire says, as you saw Chakshi appealing for some sort of call.
A little bit of something happening off the ball. I'm not sure why. It could have been completely incidental, although Chakshi thought there was something in it and wanted a call for it, but we're going to have a boundary throw.
Unofficially, we have 17 and a half minutes gone. I will tell you again, our clock on our screen did not stop. So so that is an unofficial clock as the ball is up on the far side now. As you see in the beer tent, it is gradually filling up. That's going to be one of the hot places to go to.
Get your seats now.
Get your seats now if you're within the sound of my voice.
Nice thing is, towards the end of the day, they'll expand the beer garden and include more people in that, which is wonderful.
Absolutely. As this one comes in short, this one gets knocked down. All sorts of, wow, Nickel was in there. He looked like Jackie Chan trying to fly through and not able to get a foot to boot or boot the ball or something. And here's a big boot around now. He's going to send this one in. Big kick up on the near side as that one will drop in off the foot of Sargent. Nobody is back there, and I tell you, there was nobody within 40 meters of the ball. Two Swans eventually did get back there as they all got sucked in, and they are absolutely gassed. And I'll tell you what, they have had a supreme performance over the course of these 2 days. It is going to come up one game short as the ball is chipped in the middle of the ground, and it's marked by Josh Halliday.
Looks microcosm of the day for the Swans here. Fraser going 17, Key Backman going off with a hamstring. Looks like a high hamstring pull there. So bad luck for him. That's the fatigue and the wear and tear on the bodies. It's a really big ask. 4 games in a weekend in this heat, and that's the type of thing you see, just more prone to injury and cramps.
Ball up, occurring right in front of the Gridiron Productions broadcast position as a handball in. Here comes Calgary once again, kicked in by Griffiths, who will send this one on the way. It has a big bounce and a big boom, baby. There's 6 more to the Kangaroos. There is the coup de grace as they go on to 6-6-42. It's a 40-point lead. Chicago 2 behinds, and it's all over bar the shouting.
Yeah, icing on the cake there. They're obviously going to run out on this one. But theirs was a more comprehensive effort. We talked about those handballs being critical with the first half stats, and they've continued that here. Those opportunities they've generated with their run with the hands, and then those big kicks to gain a lot of meters. That was the difference for them. 6 straight kicks on the scoreboard, 12 scoring chances in total. They've really dominated.
Yeah, they really have, and that is why they are going to end up with this victory, as they are just about home. Just seconds to go now, as again accounting for the time when the ball got stuck. Handballs it up now around. Can they add one more? Because why not? It'll be their first grand final victory since 2016, and they were away for a couple of years. They were down playing in Division II. They always used to play up in Division I a fair bit. And as we said, those 2 grand finals in 2001 and 2011 and 2013, both here in Austin, Texas. But they are going to get one here as the final seconds run out. The ball comes now in the middle of the ground. Calgary just playing with it here as they bang it out to the near side. Figure probably an extra 2 minutes based on what we have on the clock. Don't take our word on it. Sending that one in shortly was Barron. Barron has this one, and it's marked. Marked in front by Craig Sargent. Sargent with the football, and it's in front as this one goes in one more time. Almost took the mark. Going to get picked up. There you go. There's a great goal at the end by Luke Stockdale. And that should just about do it. 7 goals, 6-48. And there is the final siren. And ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the 2024 USAFL National Champions, the Calgary Kangaroos. They have blown in from north of the border and taken out a 46-point victory. Spare a thought for the Chicago Swans. They have looked very good all season. It comes up one game short. 48-42, the final score. Some final thoughts from Dan Sarback.
Yeah, congrats to the Swans on making the final. It'll sting for a few hours, but they'll reflect on this and say, yeah, making the grand final was a big effort. But congratulations to Calgary, a comprehensive effort. They really did run out better, more numbers at the contest. They used handballs effectively, and they generated a lot of scoring chances for themselves. In the end, 7 goals, 6. So 7 straight kicks, 13 scoring chances in total, and really defensively yielded almost nothing to the Swans.
Yeah, they really did. It was a very, very, very tough contest for them, and a comprehensive victory, and that will give Calgary another trophy. As we said, the first since they won Division II in 2016. While we're thanking people, or congratulating people, how about the Denver Bulldogs combined with the Golden Gate Roos, taking out the reserve sides, taking out men's Division IV. It's another win for the Denver Bulldogs. I think overall it's their 15th national championship. Golden Gate will have to, I think, with the Iron Maidens, of course, with the ones, we'll double check that. I think that's their 9th or 10th. We'll double check that. But the final score over Oklahoma, 50-22.
A lot to celebrate there, and congratulations to them. We called one of their games yesterday, and they looked like the side to beat, and it turns out they were.
Well, Dan, this is the last game you and I will call together this weekend. You've got one more, the men's Division II final with the Houston Lone Stars and the Seattle Grizzlies. One, thank you for doing so many games. One, as a broadcaster, and two, as the guy who coordinates it. You're a lifesaver. And secondly, I'm sure so many people have told you, I will convey best of luck in your new role as the international program manager for the USAFL.
Thanks so much.
There's literally nobody else I think who could be better suited for the role. I wish you nothing but success, and from a media manager standpoint, I look forward to working with you.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks to you, Brian, for having me. Thanks for everyone listening and watching at home for putting up with us and our knuckleheads. But it's good fun. I think, in a nutshell, I get to sit and watch football and talk about it all day with a whole bunch of people listening. So hopefully we said some interesting stuff and bringing some exciting games to you, but I appreciate getting to do it with you, Brian.
No worries, Dan, and again, congratulations on a fantastic season. Best of luck ahead. And
Thank you.
We'll be back for the men's Division II Grand Final once again with Pat Machado and Dan Sarbacker. It'll be the Houston Lone Stars taking on the Seattle Grizzlies. You're watching the 2024 USAFL National Championships thanks to Coopers and Tasmanian here on USAFL.com.
The USAFL 2024 Nationals is brought to you by Tasmanian, the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. Coopers, Australian made and owned. Coopers Beer. Visit Austin, live music capital of the world. Aussie Sports USA, the official apparel provider of the USAFL. Qantas Airlines, the spirit of Australia. The Australian Consulate General, Houston. Three Cuts Gin. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the inaugural cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. And by USAFL Foundation. Play on.